Hey guys, it's Melissa. Happy Thursday. It is Throwback Thursday, so that means that on So Fancy, our sister site, we have a throwback bundle that's back for one day, and it means today I have a special project to share with you. So what we are going to do today is sublimate on canvas, okay? So this is just a 8x10 stretched canvas, framed canvas. It came in a pack of 10 from Amazon. So what we are going to do is sublimate. Now I already printed the sheet so that we're all ready to go because this is a little bit of a few steps, and so I just want to have everything ready. So what we have, a canvas, okay? We have some kind of X-Acto knife or a pocket knife or something like that because we are not going to remove the staples. We are going to cut around them to remove the canvas from the frame, okay? Then we have our sublimation print. I obviously printed it twice just because two fit on a page. This design is from that Throwback Thursday bundle on So Fancy that I was telling you about. Is this not adorable? Obviously right now it's backwards and it's muted because it's a sublimation print, but I made it kind of Christmassy. It came in all one color. And then I just, filled a couple of spots with some kind of Christmassy look. And so I think it'll be super cute when we finish. And then I have my heat press is warming up. So what you want to do is all of these steps as your heat press warms up. Eventually it needs to get up to 400 degrees, but we are going to actually use lamination sheets. And so we don't want it to be the full 400 degrees when we go to press the laminator sheet onto the canvas. So as it's warming up, you're gonna be doing all of this, okay? All right, so I'm gonna pull you down to my table so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit easier than this shot here. And we will do this together, okay? So like I said, the only thing I prepared for us ahead of time was printing this sublimation sheet, all right? Okay, so before we get to the canvas, I have my laminator sheet here. These are just thermal laminator sheets, okay? Typically, I would put it through my laminator, but we can also use these to sublimate on, but we only need half, so you can go ahead and cut your laminator sheet in half, all right? Before I do that, I'll pull you down to my table so you guys can see. I have a lot of wires going on here, so just bear with me while I give you this bit of a better angle, hopefully. Okay, so we have the lamination sheet. I have my glue gun is at the very end. I have that warming up, and I'm just gonna cut the sheet down the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's bigger than the canvas that I'm using anyway, so it's not a big deal. And then you can actually you're only going to use half of this, so we only need one of those. So we're going to place that to the side, and then we're going to deal with our canvas. So like I said, we are going to either use an X-Acto knife, or I also have like a little, this is called a Leatherman, and it just has like a little pocket knife on there. So we're going to cut on the outside of where the staples are, and we're doing that so that we can remove the canvas from the frame. This knife is actually better. All right, and you'll see it'll start to pop up. Now this part just takes a minute, but it is easier to do this than it is to remove all of the staples. Okay, so you wanna get in there. Now be careful because we're gonna need to put this canvas back on the frame when we're done. So at the corners, just be really careful. I'm gonna come back to all of those corners. So on all four sides, I'm going to cut, the canvas outside of the staples, okay? This is once I clip the corners, it'll come completely off, but for right now, I'm just dealing with this. Okay, so and then what this is going to do is we are going to sublimate on here, but you can't do it while it's on the frame. It's a lot, it's just very, very hard to get a good sublimation on a canvas frame because there's not enough pressure due to basically the frame itself. Okay, and then we'll get this last piece, and then I'm gonna grab some scissors, and we will clip the corners to basically free them. Okay, so you're just gonna work in here
Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. All right, so once it kind of, fold down, you're gonna have a little bit of extra, so you don't, you have to be careful, but you don't need to be like, oh my gosh, I accidentally clipped too close. Like don't worry too much, because it's gonna be, the only part of the frame, the canvas that you're gonna see is this part. We're gonna see the other side when we're all done, but it's okay if you see how this comes out. Okay, so we just have to do that for all of the corners. Okay. Yep. Okay. And this will flatten out, and then I just need to do this last one. Okay. And the part of the canvas or the part of the frame that you're seeing now is going to be hidden when we put the canvas back on, okay? So this is the part of the frame that we're actually going to use. All right, now, not all frames have these staples here. This pack that I bought happens to, so I'm just gonna remove these staples. Whoa. Be careful, okay. Also, if something happens, Bob's not home, so someone tag Ashley or Keisha so that they can find me help. But seriously, be careful if you're using a knife or whatever to remove the staples. But your frame's not gonna fall apart if you're worried about that. If you're worried about removing the front staples, your frame is not going to fall apart. All right. We have the frame all ready now. Okay, now, also a word to the wise, if you have one of these tables, this kind of tabletop, and you have a glue gun, make sure you place it on something, because this is a result of glue getting on there. Okay, now we have our canvas, and we need to lay it flat, and I'm gonna move over to the heat press. Okay, so what we're gonna do, just so you guys know, is we're gonna take the lamination sheet. It has a shiny side which needs to be up. We're gonna place it on top, and we're gonna heat press this. I don't know how long it takes, maybe 30 seconds, but after about 30 seconds or so, you'll look at it and see, is it pressed completely? And if not, you will want to press it a little bit more, all right? I would cover the whole area, although all you're gonna see is like this when we're done. You're only gonna see this part, okay? All right, so let's move over to the heat press so we can see what we're doing over here, okay? So I have it warming up. It needs to be at it's going to need to be at 400 for the sublimation part. So I'm gonna bump the temperature up now so that it starts warming up to that temperature, because it was just sitting at 350. I had it sitting there while I was, I didn't want it to get too hot while we were waiting for to do the lamination. Okay, so first things first, we are going to press the canvas sheet so it just gets all the wrinkles out, all right? I'm gonna cover it just in case there's anything on the top of my heat press. It doesn't transfer over. So I don't know, 20, 30 seconds just to let this get completely flat. That'll make it easier for you to put the lamination sheet, okay? Those of you who are just joining, we are learning how to sublimate on canvas to make a reverse canvas, okay? The design that we're using, I've already printed on my sublimation printer. It's this cute little dog design that I turned into like a Christmassy design, and it's from the dog bundle, which is back on So Fancy today only. I did link to it. Okay, so our canvas is now flat, and now we are just going to press the lamination sheet directly on top. Now remember, shiny side, this has a shiny side and a dull side. The shiny side needs to be face up, okay? You really don't need to put something in between here, because think about it, it goes through the laminator without a protection, but I'm gonna place this on here just in case. All right, now this takes a little bit longer. I would say I'm on medium pressure. The timer is set for 60 seconds. I'm gonna stop it after 30 just to check, okay? And while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna cut my sublimation sheet in half. We can make 2 canvases out of this, but I'm only making 1 here today. Okay, so we have, I gotta cut a little bit close to the side because I think it's pretty close. All right, so let's check. We're almost to 30 seconds, so let's just check to see how this is going. Okay, you wanna make sure, there's no wrinkles. This gets hot. And so this has a few little wrinkles, so I'm gonna tighten it. A little bit more pressure. Okay? All right, just press this down one more time. Just for a couple more seconds. And then we are gonna place this directly on top, okay? That needs to go for 60 seconds, but we are going to wait until this cools, and then we are going to place this on top, and we're gonna use high temperature tape to keep it in place. Reason being, we don't want any ghosting. Ghosting happens when you open or close your heat press with the sublimation print on there. If it moves a little teeny bit, even for like 3-4 seconds, you can get ghosting on your sheet. Okay, so I'm gonna again pull you back down to my table so you can get an idea here of what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, so to know where to place this is what is going to look like when we put the frame back on. So I wanna make sure that I have it centered and it's straight, okay? So I don't know how you would want this, if you want it down in the middle, if you want it down, but just, you can decide, obviously. And I have it here. So I'm gonna take a couple pieces of tape, high temperature tape, and I'm gonna tape it so it just sticks in place, okay? I'll tape this side too real quick. All right, now I'm waiting for the heat press. The heat press needs to be, like I said, at 400 degrees. Okay, so just to prepare you for what we're gonna do next. Once this is on there, then what we're gonna do is flip the whole thing over, and we're gonna use our hot glue gun. Again, this is a prime example of why you need to have, I'm just using a coaster that I sublimated. This glue here, if this gets on this table, it does this. So don't do that. Anyway, okay, so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tape this. Oops, I forgot I taped it, duh. Then we're gonna glue around all 4 sides, and we're gonna place this back on here, and then we will trim off the edge, okay? So that's how that's gonna work. So you do need it is a few steps, but they come out really cool. So let me just show you how this is gonna go. Okay, whoops. All right, so I'm just stalling because I'm waiting for my heat press to finish warming to 400 degrees, okay? All right, so we've got our lamination sheet. As soon as this hits 400, I will place it on there, okay? So while we're waiting, why don't you guys share the Christmas projects that you've been working on? I would love to hear. I would love to see. Or while we're waiting for the next, I don't know, this will probably take another minute or so. You can go grab the dog bundle that I linked up there, which is where you'll find this cute little design. Okay, and don't forget, if you have designs that come into Silhouette Studio, for example, this one came in, the whole thing was all black, outlined in black. I just released the compound path and filled different parts with, some patterns, some solid colors. You can see what I did there, okay? So don't feel like, oh, it's not Christmassy. Well, you can make anything, right? I mean, I could fill this with pastels and it would be Easter. Okay, so we're at 396, so we're pretty good here. So I'm gonna place my lamination sheet, or it's a canvas with the laminator sheet on top, and then my print on top. And we are gonna press this for a minute. Okay? I do have a full blog post of this whole process coming. It should be on the blog next week, but I wanted to share this one with you for right now. Okay, so as soon as this is done, like I said, then we will go and put the canvas back on. You do not need to worry about taking this off. Okay, we're only gonna see this. Now, again, you have some options. You can leave this unfinished, which is fine with me. You can paint it, obviously, you could stain it, whatever you wanna do, totally fine. This is why this stuff is customizable, because you can do it however you want. All right, when this is done, it's gonna be a little warm, so just be super careful when you're bringing this out of the heat press. We don't need any of this stuff anymore, so we'll just clean this all up. And I'll bring you back down to my table when we're done with this, okay? By the way, if you're looking for a Cameo, 24-inch Cameo Pros, they're back in. If you ordered one from Swing, they are being shipped first, but they are back in now along with Cameo Pro bundles, just to let you guys know that. I found that out today. Okay, so here we go. All right, like I said, this is hot, so I won't peel this off until I pull you down so you can see. Ooh, it wants to curl. This to the side, okay. Look how cool. Isn't that so cool? It has such awesome colors, and you can't sublimate on canvas unless you have some kind of like polyester and or poly coating, and that's what the laminator sheet does, okay? All right, so let's finish putting this back together. Now we will just do it like this. So what I'm gonna do, one line of hot glue along the top. This is how I do it. If someone else has a better suggestion, I'm all ears. All right, now you gotta work quickly here. Okay, center, and then I press. Okay, I only have this one side ready. So and don't worry about this part that's hanging off. Okay, all right, that just keeps everything in place so I know how my design is going to look. Then in the frame. Then I need to come back here and put more. I hate this about these glue guns because my hand, I need like 3 hands to do this. All right, you need a generous amount of glue. Okay, and you kind of need to do both sides at the same time. So you kind of have to work quickly. All right, now, pull it so it's taut, and then flip it again and press those 2 sides that you just glued, okay? And then the last side is up here, obviously, and we will do that one. And you just want to be pulling the canvas as you go. The laminator sheet actually helps with keeping it taut. If you've ever done reverse canvas, just like, you know, with HTV or some other type of material, you know that it can be that can be the most challenging part, okay? All right, so just about done. Now we just need to cut off the edges. So I like to do this from the back. If you kind of fold it over, you're almost cutting along that glue line. Okay. You see? All right, good. Looks like a thick piece there. I don't want my shears to have to go through that if they don't have to. Okay, and then the big reveal is coming. Right? Let's get this a little bit closer. Oops. Ooh. All right, just make sure you don't have any parts hanging over, which it looks like I probably do. Okay, turn it over and you'll have your adorable little sign. Is this not the cutest little thing? I love these signs, and I love that you can make them for so many different occasions, so many, you know, obviously you can customize it any way you want. You could put a name, you could, whatever, but super cute, fun decor that you can make and customize any way you want. Now you are seeing that glare there, that shine, that's the laminator sheet on the canvas, but look how cute and fun and bright, vibrant those colors are. All right, so if you're a dog lover and a crafter, you might want to head over to our sister site, Sew Fancy, grab the dog bundle. It's today only. We threw it back this time for just the one day. It was so popular the first time around, so
on Throwback Thursday, that's what we do. And this is one of the designs that's included in there, along with about 78 or 79 other ones. They come out to about 13 cents each. And of course, commercial use. All right, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. I'll see you soon.